Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Torey and today we are setting up my reading journal for the month of October. For my theme this month, I am going with a spiderweb theme, but only spiderwebs. I'm not going to be adding any type of spiders dangling from the spiderwebs or anything like that because spiders terrify me. Even though I find their webs really beautiful. So I didn't really want to see spiders in my journal setup. I just wanted to embrace the spider webs. So the first thing I'm doing here is getting my monthly header kind of sketched out. I searched a font on Google Images of just like a spiderweb font, and I took my inspiration from one of the images that I found. I don't know if there was a name of it, but I'll see if I can find it and link it below, possibly, if I can find it again. But yes, so I got the inspiration for this font off of an image on Google, and I am only using this font for my October title. This was a very lengthy font to sketch out, first of all, and then to actually draw in and color in black. I am using my Tombow Fudonosuke brush pen to color this in. And yeah, so I don't do this again in this setup. I just use it for my October. And then everything else I will use a 0.5 micron and then kind of just do like a very small all caps type of header for everything else for this month. For the most part, I feel like my theme came out very minimal, with the exception of all of the spider webs that I drew. I didn't add any washi tape. I didn't do any stamping. Everything for this month is just pen and spider webs. Let me know down in the comments below if you have a reading journal. What did you do for your theme for October? I'd love to know. Let me know. So now I am doing my outer border, and this is where most of my sketching and drawing will be. I am doing a kind of wonky line all the way around and then curving two of the edges while leaving the other two corners at a 90-degree angle. And then on the two corners for each page that are at a 90-degree angle, that is where I will be placing a spider web for each page that I'm setting up today. Underneath my October header, I am going to add my to be read list, and I am drawing out lines. I don't know that I'm going to add this many books to my to be read list this month. I was really proud of myself for September because as of right now, which is September 26th, I did read, I think I have 5 books on my to be read list, and I've read 4 of them. So I'm feeling pretty proud of myself that I've read that many books that I put on my to be read list, and I think I'm very hopeful that I will do the same for October. But there's a lot of lines here, and I don't think that I'm going to read that many to be read books, but we will see. Hopefully I do. My main design element for this setup is going to be the spider webs in the opposite corners of each page. And when I drew these, I am not an expert at drawing spider webs by any means. And throughout this whole setup, my hand was shaking so badly. So I do like that I chose spider webs for this theme since, well, in real life, they are pretty perfect, but when you're doodling them out, they don't really need to be super perfect. So I just kind of drew out several lines at an angle, I guess, like an arc type angle of lines from the corner of my page, and then connected all of those lines. And then for my inner lines, I just kind of drew these things willy-nilly. I did not add them with any rhyme or reason. I just wanted to kind of make it look creepy and not perfect was my idea, was my plan for drawing out the spiderwebs for all of the spiderwebs in this setup. Since I was very shaky-handed while I was doing this setup, they definitely came out a little worse than they probably would have if I wasn't drawing with a shaky hand. But I just decided while I was doing the setup that maybe I just had a spider who had shaky legs when he made these spider webs, you know? So thinking about it in that way made me feel a little bit better about how shaky everything was coming out. And then I also thought it was kind of cute to imagine a little shaky spider making a spider web. A cute spider, not a scary spider, but that's besides the point. Anyways, in this setup, I am adding a larger calendar. I decided a few days ago that I wanted to do one of those calendars that you see people do in their reading journal setups, where you kind of draw a line through all of the days that you are reading a specific book. I know, I think Heba from my little journal, and I think Sabrina Poole, I can't remember what her channel's called, but I think both of them do this way, and that might be where I originally saw it, but I know there's a ton of YouTubers that do this. So anyways, I did want to try it myself as a kind of visual time to read tracker, is what I titled the page. I don't know if I will be using actual colors or if I will just be assigning colors based on like type of book, like audiobook, physical book, digital book. I might do it that way so that there's not as much color, because I don't have a ton of color in this setup as it is. I don't want to add too much extra that's not really going to vibe with the whole setup. But we'll see how this works out. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, but I have a feeling that I will, just because I love visual representations of my reading. So I'm just getting everything kind of sketched out for my calendar. I did freehand the outer line of the calendar so it would match my borders, but all of the inner lines I am using a ruler to sketch out, and then I will just handwrite my days of the week and each day for the month as well. Moving right along, I am now working on my reading log and my stats and total pages. So for my reading log and my stats and total page, my spider webs are going to be significantly smaller than they were on my first two pages, my calendar page and my to be read title page. And this is because these two pages generally have a lot more information. So I'm just doing very small spider webs in each corner, similar to how I did on my first two pages. And then for my reading log page, the only other thing that I will be adding to that page is just my header. For my stats and total pages, I am going to add an area for me to track my totals, my total books read, pages read, genres read, and formats read. And then my pie charts, I'm just going to do these circle outlines for the pie charts because I still haven't decided fully if I'm going to track the same thing or record the same thing every month when it comes to those, since officially I have only done 1 month of them. I still have not we're still in September, so I haven't done my September wrap up yet. So I am using this cool little circle stencil that I got from Amazon. I will link this below. It's an acrylic stencil, so it's super easy to use with my setups, because then I can also use it as a straight edge for my ruler. So like I said, I'll link that down below if you're interested in it. I got it on Amazon. And it came in a 2-pack, and there is a lot of circle sizes. So I'm super happy to have that, to be able to draw perfect circles now. Now, I did draw the inner circle with the stencil to be a perfect circle, but I am going to take my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen and do an outline outside of that perfect circle so that it kind of matches the same vibe as all of my other borders. And then for my totals, my pages read, books read, etc., I did a thick line with my micron sized 08, and then a thin line immediately underneath that with the micron 01 size pen. And I will link all of those down below for you as well if you're interested in checking those out. So as I am getting the last spider web and my circle outlines drawn, I am sick again. I had probably 1 week of not being sick, and something's going around my job, and I must have caught it. Either that or one of my children brought something home from school. I don't know. But I'm sick again, so hopefully this voiceover isn't too terribly bad. I am actually editing this laying in my bed. I've figured out that I could connect my phone to my laptop, and I'm using my phone as a microphone, so hopefully it doesn't sound too terrible. But if you notice a difference in the quality of the recording or how much noise in the background is being picked up, that is what that is. I'm using my phone as a microphone. Listening back to what I've recorded so far, I don't think it sounds too terribly bad, but we'll see. Hopefully you don't think it's terribly bad as well. So I am using my Tombow N89 brush pen. I use this in every single setup that I do, I feel like. So I'm just highlighting the totals that I will be tracking, and then moving on to the next page. I am going to add my border to both pages that I'm working on now. This is going to be my favorites page, and then essentially my favorites page. I'm only going to be adding spider webs and decorations and all that to the left-hand side. That's going to be my favorite book page, where I print out a picture of the book cover. And then on the right-hand side of this spread will be where I do this particular spread about that book and being my favorite book. I did this for July? No. For August. Oh goodness. I did this for August, but since I had only read one book that month, that was the only book that I had to record. But I put my favorite book page on the left-hand side, and then did just the whole right-hand page as the spread about that book. And I have decided moving forward that I will be doing a full page in this journal for each book that I read for the rest of the year. I am trying to just use as many pages as possible as I can in this journal, since at the beginning of the year, I think literally in January, my daughter spilt a cup of water all over it, so it's warped, and I don't want to continue using it anymore. Like, I'm so over this journal. Not because I don't love it, but because like the warping is just driving me insane, and I just would really like to move on to a new journal and not have to deal with that anymore. For the spider webs on this particular page, I am actually doing them a little bit more large and extravagant, I guess you could say, than the previous two pages. And I'm also going to be trying to connect them a little bit to my border outlines. So I've got my favorite book like header and then the line underneath it, and then I'm going to be connecting the spider web to that one, and then also the bottom border connecting to it as well. And then I'm just going to highlight every other row of this page with my Tombow N89 brush pen. And then once that is done, I'm going to actually flip back to my calendar setup and highlight all of the days of the month, so that first line of each week. And then once that is done, I am finished with my setup. Let me know down in the comments below if you made it to the end of this video. If you did, leave me a spiderweb emoji. Also, let me know which one of these pages is your favorite. I know they're all very, very simple this month, but I love the way it came out. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!